Well, as mentioned earlier, President Joe Biden is expected to make it official tomorrow, announcing a re-election bid for 2024. But how are his poll numbers heading into the race, and why the announcement now? We go now to Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, great to be with you. First off, your thoughts on President Biden's expected announcement tomorrow, and why do you think it's taken him so long to formally announce his re-election bid?
Well, I don't have any particular insight into why Biden has taken as long as he has, other than to say, he's been sort of stringing this along. And, he said he was going to do it after the State of the Union. That was 3 months ago. And there hasn't been a ton of organization and planning that's been taking place behind the scenes. I mean, we haven't seen any of the usual things that you would see for a candidate that is particularly an incumbent that's going to run for re-election. So we shall see. I mean, the thing for President Biden, his numbers are very soft. I mean, he is well liked by Democrats, but he is not well. They don't want him to run. They're not clamoring for him to run for office again. And so I think that's going to be an interesting part of the dynamic as we see his re-election bid take shape.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about the Republican side now. Former President Donald Trump really seems to be leading the pack now. Tom, do you think that we could be looking at another Trump-Biden matchup in 2024?
We could. I mean, it's a real possibility. Again, there's a long way to go before the actual voting takes place and before we really have a good understanding. All we have now are sort of snapshots in time of where the public, particularly the Republican voters, are where they stand, what they're feeling. And clearly, Trump had been leading DeSantis by about 14 to 15 points consistently from the first part of the year. After the indictment came down, Trump's lead nearly doubled, and DeSantis had dropped pretty significantly. Now, whether that lasts throughout the entire summer and into the fall, as we lead up to and we start getting into the debates and whatnot, remains to be seen. But Donald Trump's still very, very popular within the Republican Party, the rank and file, even though there are members of the Republican Party who voted for Trump in 2016 and 2020 who are looking for an alternative. They aren't sure that he can win. They like his policies, but they might like to see somebody else carrying the torch for the Republican Party that has less sort of drama and baggage with them. So again, we'll see how that plays out as well.
Yeah, and on a different note, Hunter Biden's attorneys are set to meet with officials with the Justice Department this week. What more can you tell us about this, Tom?
Well, I mean, I think the most significant development in this case is the IRS whistleblower potentially coming forward and testifying. And from the reporting we've heard, testifying that a senior administration official reported to be Merrick Garland, Attorney General Merrick Garland, had lied before Congress about political interference in this case. I mean, there's been some additional reporting and the House Oversight Committee has done work on getting bank records and trying to unspool, just how much, money was, influence peddling was going on in the Biden family. All of these things are ominous developments for Joe Biden's reelection bid. And certainly a whistleblower coming forward and testifying before Congress would be a huge, huge bombshell and really, I think, change the political landscape.
Tom, we're almost out of time, but quickly before I let you go, the White House announced today that Susan Rice is leaving her post as domestic policy advisor. What do you make of this, and also the timing?
Yeah, the timing's curious. I'm not sure what to make of it. I mean, Susan Rice has been a very, very trusted advisor. In fact, there were some rumors that she was being looked at potentially as a replacement for Kamala Harris on the ticket in 2024. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It looks like she's going. Obviously, these are tough jobs in the administration. They require a lot, and for people to stick around as long as they do, I mean, it tends to wear them down. So it could just be that. They're also reporting there could be that she was involved in some other things that might have precipitated her leaving the administration. So, but nevertheless, she's a significant influence within Biden's inner circle and has been a real key as far as his agenda is concerned thus far. And so, without her by his side, I think we'll see who ends up replacing her, but it's a significant move.
All right, Tom, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for coming on. Always appreciate your insights.
Thanks, Tracy.